Hey, we can hear you. All right, everybody, we will get started here in a few minutes as most people come on through. We are waiting for ANYO here. All right, guys, just another minute or two, and we will get everybody on. All right, ANYO, I did invite you up, so you should be able to come and chat with us. I'll go ahead and start with our updates for the week. We've got a couple of big ones. First off, it was our 1 year marketplace anniversary. So happy birthday to us. 1 full year of trading on Stargaze. And what did we have here? So quick numbers, total marketplace volume was about $5.4 million in sales. There were 165,500 sales roughly, with about 20,000 individual NFT buyers, with creator royalty earnings of about $360,000. And we did do a Bad Kids giveaway for that, so there was a lucky winner. We do have, so for the anniversary, we also have some marketplace updates. It's 3 times faster. You can now select the card size, and when you select multiple NFTs to purchase or offer, they will stack on each other. And other big news, you guys have probably heard, Stargaze has cut ties with co-founder Jake Hartnell. There will be a community spaces next week. We're looking at Tuesday, 7 p.m. UTC for a little conversation about that. And there's also a new front-end challenge for ICS 721. So have a look at that for the Game of NFTs hackathon. And we were a drought last week for community vote projects, but we are on this time. So get your voting hands ready. All right. With that, I'd like to introduce the projects for this week. Welcome ANYO and Block Cuties. Hey guys, how's it going? Let's go ahead and start. Yeah, let's go ahead and start with you, Block Cuties. You're here representing mythical creatures, right?
Mythical buddies.
Mythical buddies. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the project?
Yeah. So the founder is Peanut.
Yep. Hello. I think we may have lost you there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I hit the button on accident, sorry. Um, the artist is Cal. I did some development stuff for them. Um, Peanut wrote me a thing here, so I'll go ahead and read that. It's a story-based project where artists and communities come together and people can collect and trade their creatures and also enjoy different art styles. They believe that mythical buddies will bring some value towards artists' artwork and showcase their hard work, especially in the bear market. The plan is to create many collections, each with many different talented artists on Stargaze. For example, Fuzzy Flies, Killjoyman, there's Saturn Candy, Maria from WFC, and many more. Each project will have their own value and will be connected through the main story, exploring Mythical Buddies universe. For Gen 1, that's launching tomorrow, we'll introduce you all to the first 22 origins of the Mythical Buddies universe to kind of give like a background to it, I guess.
Yeah, and I believe these are all like hand drawn, right? One of ones. There's a small collection.
Correct. There's only 22, all hand drawn, very unique.
And could you give us maybe a little bit of history on who Peanut is, his background, and how and why he chose to make this project?
Yeah. So he kind of just, I guess, thought of mythical buddies, I don't know, maybe in his sleep one night. Don't really know how he thought of it, but and then him and Cal just brainstormed together the different creatures and like kind of hybrid type animals. And from there, Cal, kind of used her artist's brain and went nuts. And so let's see. Peanut he's an artist, he said. He loves art. He loves looking at art, collecting art. He loves drawing. So he's all about art. He has done some community management for some of the projects that we know. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but mostly he really just likes to be really involved with like communities. So even if he's not a community manager, he'll hype up your project, like just get in there like you cheerleader. He's just really pro community. So he's just a good person to have on your team, whether he's literally on your team or not. He's from Vietnam, and this is his first project that he's done on Stargaze. And
Yeah, and what's your role? You said you're speaking to us now, right? But you also helped launch the project, I believe.
yeah, I did the development for them to launch, and yeah,
Now, is this the first of a set of projects?
yeah, there's gonna be many more. Let me grab my notes. There's gonna be, he has like a whole roadmap. The next step is with Fuzzy Flies, Art Studio. It's a funny word, sorry. Um, and so the next step will be Evolution 1 with Fuzzy Flies. And if you hold Origin, which is this collection that's launching tomorrow, you get whitelists and airdrops, and you get whitelist for the Gen 2, which is Evolution 1. Yeah, if you go to the Discord, and then go to roadmaps, you can see just the whole work up here. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and hear from ANYO on his new collection. This is, I think, maybe collection number six,
Seven.
seven. Okay, yeah. So
No,
we've been
maybe
around.
6. I don't know. 6 or 7. Yeah. So somewhere there. I should know though. I should look it up. Should I look it up?
Well, I think you've had 3 ANYO parts and 2 or 3 side collections, and then the Z creatures, right?
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the 7th.
Yeah, congratulations. So yeah,
Thanks.
you're experienced on Stargaze now. This is your home.
Yeah. This is definitely our home, and we're happy about that.
Cool. Yeah, so tell us about the Z Hunters for everyone who's been living under a rock the last month or two.
So Z Hunters is our 7th collection, but it's our second big collection. So all our previous collections, or most of them were either 25 or 10 pieces. So they were very limited edition collections. Before Z Hunters, we had the Z Creatures, which were also 1,000 hand-drawn creatures, and now we have Z Hunters, which is 1,000 all hand-drawn, all unique hunters. And this collection sort of complements the Z Creature collection, and together they create this universe and a lot of stories that happen within this universe. So that's the quick rundown. But we have a quite rich background lore to the Z Hunters, which are divided into 29 classes. So they're very different, and a lot of them are linked to Filipino folklore. The main artist of ANYO is from the Philippines, Esoj Luna. So a lot of the background story is derived from Filipino folklore. And yeah, that's more or less it. But we're also, so we're launching this 1,000-piece collection. But then we're also launching something called Tales of Alawan. Alawan is the name of this universe. Within this universe, there's 10 kingdoms. People who've been around for the Z Creatures are probably familiar with these 10 kingdoms because the Z Creatures all came from one of these 10 kingdoms. So Tales of Alawan is divided into 2 parts, and it will be 10 pieces each. Is full illustrations that depict part of these stories that happen between the Z Creatures and the Z Hunters, and what happens to this universe. So I just tweeted the first or one of the first images that we have made on Twitter. I tried to pin it on this space, but I can't figure out how it works. So, but in this image, we can see Babailan Archmage from the Earth Kingdom talking to some Capra dwellers and seeking their help to gather, the troops needed to fight this big darkness that's coming, which is Nidnit. So these Tales of Alawan, these 20 pieces, they are not for sale, but if you own all the characters that's in this image, then you can claim this full illustration. You have to verify ownership in Discord, and then you can claim it. And so, for example, like in this one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Capres, 2 Z creatures, and 1 Bavailan. And then we have different, the different illustrations that depict different parts of the story. And then we have another collection that is going to be basically commissioned by the community. So the Z Hunters, they're divided into 29 classes, as I mentioned, but the 3 top classes is Nit, which is this darkness that comes to this universe and starts the whole story. He basically wants to take over. There's only one Nit, and then it's the Adarna, which was the creator of this universe. So that's the 2 of them. And then the 3rd class is the Z Masters. There can only exist 10 Z Masters, 1 for each kingdom. So anyone who gets any of these 12 pieces will be able to give instructions, even write a thumbnail of how this person imagines an illustration to look like, and can engage any of the Z creature or Z hunters that he or she owns, and basically dream up a scenario that takes place in one of these 10 kingdoms, and then Esoj Luna will draw this according to the instructions from the holder. So this is something, I mean, we never tried this before. It's going to be really exciting to see what the community comes up with, like which scenarios they come up with. So obviously this is not something we can reveal now because this haven't even started.
That's really cool. Yeah. So if you mint one of these special NFTs, then do you redeem it for something else, or you just claim you verify that you own it, and then Esoj will make another NFT based off of that, like as a one-of-one collection?
Yeah, exactly. So you redeem it, and then out of the 10, there's 10 Z Masters, right? 5 of them will be in the mint, and 5 will be part of giveaways. And some of those giveaways will be creative giveaways in the Discord. Some of them, I mean, we're working with our mod to figure out a way so that everyone has a chance to get their hands on one of these. But basically, if you own one of these, you can redeem it, verify in Discord, and then we have a form that you fill out, and you can upload the thumbnail if you have a very specific idea of how you imagine it. And then it will be created, and then once it's created, it will be minted to you or airdropped to you.
Yeah, I can only imagine what people are going to try and come up with.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So when you redeem it, you give the NFT back, or you still hold it?
I don't know. The idea has been that you keep it, but maybe we should take it on. I don't know. Now you just gave me some ideas now.
I know Stardy, who's on the space here right now, is doing something similar for her banner collection. Basically, yeah, there's going to be a couple of large, like, cat banners that you'll be able to redeem. You send them back to her or like her DAO, right? And then you're able to commission like a special one-of-one piece. So there's a lot of different options you can do, and definitely chat with the community and on how you want to pursue it.
Right. So it needs to be quick chats because we're launching in less than 24 hours.
Well, the redemption part. Could you tell us about the art for this, right? Like the inspiration behind it, like what the process was like? Because they're all hand-drawn one-of-ones, right? Like I know the metadata creation was kind of tough for you guys.
Yeah. So the metadata when we launched, I've said this a few times, but like neither me nor Esoj Luna are that familiar or experienced with NFTs and creating connections and stuff like this. Like all of ANYO has just happened really step by step. So when we did Z creatures and we were talking about the metadata, I mean, we only had 2 traits. We only had the kingdom and the type. So it was very limited. And I remember you and other people from Stargaze brought this up. But to be honest, at that time, I was so into just making the collection that I didn't really have time to research or fully understand why is the metadata important and what's the point of it even. And so anyway, so we launched Z Creatures that way. And then we kept getting feedback from the community that the rarity score were off, and that it wasn't just enough traits and enough differences. And then when we started working with Z Hunters, we kept this in mind, and we brought in one guy from our. I have a company in the Philippines. It's a guy and a girl actually who are really into Dungeons and Dragons. They're like fans of Dungeons and Dragons. So we brought them in, and we worked with them for, I mean, weeks or if not a few months, trying to figure out how this metadata should be designed so that the 2 collections work together, and then also lay the groundwork to do something else after this. We don't know exactly what, but I mean, just to have the base to be able to keep building on these 2 collections. And I think it's so fucking cool that we were able to go back and update the metadata for Z Creatures, because that would have sucked if that was like set in stone and you know, our mistake couldn't be corrected. So if you look at the metadata now for Z Creatures, it's way more complex, and the metadata for the Z Hunters mirrors that more or less. There are some differences. So we spend a lot of time with that, and with the art. So Esoj Luna is the main artist, and so he does all the art direction. He does most of the line work even, so that's why this has been taking a very long time. For the main collections, part 1, 2, and 3, and the side collections, Garden of Overthinkers and of Love and Culture, he did all of it, like everything. For the bigger collections, Z Creatures and Z Hunters, obviously we've had help, but he approves every single one, and he does most of the work himself. But then we have, I think, up to like 10 or 12 artists helping to put it all together, and you know, but the art style or inspiration, I think it all comes from the ANYO main collections. Like to me, it's that was really how all of this was born. Even the Z Creatures came because they existed in those illustrations, and then we just took them out of those illustrations, and then you know, started building on that. So yeah, everything is connected. Everything that we've done with ANYO so far is very connected.
Right. Yeah. You guys are really trying to create the universe of Alwan, right?
Yeah.
And every single project is connected. Where do the individual kind of one pieces from like the smaller collections, how do they fit into the universe?
They will fit in. So until now, what we can see based on Z Creatures and Z Hunters is just the universe. So imagine like Alawan is this big world. There's 10 kingdoms. There's a lot of people living here. These are the Z Creatures and the Z Hunters. We have still not introduced the main character of the main story yet. And I don't know if it's too early to do that, but I like to call it that it's. I'm not gonna reveal the main story right now, or the main character. But basically, what we have is a lot of components. So all these characters that we have, they live in this world, they interact in this world, and we have introduced the main antagonist, which is Nit. Nit is the one who comes to this world and wants to take over this entire universe. But we haven't introduced the protagonist yet. And I'll just say a little bit. And it's like in the talk with the coffee house guy who did the Medium, I said that it's a reverse coming of age story. I really like that, because coming of age stories is like someone, in their youth or in their teens, and then they have to grow up. This is a reverse coming of age story, meaning that it's an older guy who has realized that he's lost his joy for life, and he is looking for the child in himself, because he lost the child in himself, and then he starts this journey throughout Alawan, and then he needs to team up with different hunters and different Z creatures, basically to find back to himself. That's as much as I can say of the story.
No, it's very interesting. So, how is the story going to manifest itself? Like, like as a comic or as a short story?
Like we since months now, we are exploring different ways of telling this story and trying to find the best way. I mean, not only best, but also like feasible, and possible within a time frame of maybe a year or two, not 10 years. So actually, graphic novel, I think it won't be, but there was at some point we were leaning towards that. We won't do a graphic novel. Now we're ping-ponging between a 2D animated series and a game. And we're in talks with developers and different collaborators, but we haven't found the right way to do it yet.
Yeah, I also people may also not know exactly who you are and like your experience with this, but you are like a talented professional filmmaker and storyteller. Like, you traveled all around the world through films, so this isn't like your first rodeo in telling a story.
Yeah. So I'm a writer and director, and I work in live action, documentary, and animation. That's how I know Esos Luna. He was an employee in my company in the Philippines doing art for my animated shows. So that's how all this started. And the reason I got involved is because I saw a great story. And Esos Luna is by heart, he's a storyteller. And I think that's quite obvious in his art and in how he builds these collections. So to me, that's what's really exciting, is to tell these stories. And I think that what we've done now with Z Creatures and Z Hunters is to lay down, the world and the universe, and then the ANYO part 1, 2, 3, and the side collections are, you could say that they are fragments of this main story that will come later. Same goes with these illustrations that we're doing as part of Tales of Alawan. When you look at 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, they look like they're self-contained small moments, but it will all come together, I hope, in a really, 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 really nice way eventually, when we're ready for that.
Beautiful. Right now I'd like to go ahead and ask anyone to ask questions. If anyone has any questions, please come up to speak. We'll get you guys answered. Any questions for ANYO, Z Hunters, or mythical buddies, or Stargaze as a whole?
Can I just say one? I just wanted to mention that tomorrow, 1 hour before whitelist mint starts, Esos Luna will be in the Discord, and we'll do an AMA with him. So if anyone wants to come and ask him questions or talk to him, it would be really cool. You can go and to the Discord and submit your questions now if you want. We're also giving away a Z Hunter in that Discord, and the Z Hunter we're giving away is the Babailan Archmage from the Earth Kingdom that's in this illustration. So if you get this, you have like one of these characters that you need to get this illustration.
Now, I have a quick question. Will Esoj be there in voice chat, or is this all text-based? Because we haven't talked to him either before.
It will be text-based, and the reason is his English is not that he's not comfortable with speaking English. That's partially why, but the other reason is he's an extreme introvert, and he doesn't. It's something I had to a deal I had to make with him when we started, on this journey of making ANYO, was that some parts I take care of. So unfortunately, no. But he will be there. Like he will actually be there chatting with you guys. Like it's
No, that's really great. And could you maybe expand a little bit on that as well, on like working with artists and like building a team, like kind of segmenting off what you do and what he does, and like you grew your team out for this as well.
Yeah. So for all the main collections, he did all the art. I did the curation and the like dividing them into 4 collections, and also helps with some feedback and stuff like that. But that was like a lot was on him. With Z Creatures and Z Hunters, we had to expand because it was too big. If he was going to do all of it himself, it would have taken just too long. And the only reason we could do it in a very smooth and successful manner was because I lived in the Philippines for 10 years. So I have a wide, and I shot some movies there. I did a 3D animated movie, fully produced in the Philippines for the Swedish market, but it was fully produced in the Philippines. So I have a very wide network of artists and reliable people and production managers. Like we had a proper production manager for Z Creatures and Z Hunters. So he has been allowed to just do what he wants to do, which is focus on the art. And then we've had teams helping us with everything around it.
No, that's great. Yeah, your experience in production is really like transferred over into the NFT project.
Yeah.
That's great. We've got a couple of speakers on here who want to chat. So the first one I think was Steakzito. Hello.
Yeah, hey friends. This is Nemus. I'm co-founder at Stargaze. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all the Stargaze creators, obviously. Also the Stargaze team. Shout out to you, Ruben and Shane. And it's great to see how far Stargaze has come after 1 year, seeing all the traction and volume. And also just wanted quickly to mention that I personally definitely will check out Block Cuties tomorrow, and personally holding obviously various Stargaze NFTs myself. And yeah, I also have a giveaway with ANYO going on right now. So if you guys are interested to win one NFT from the Elemental class, feel free to check out our Stargaze Twitter page. Just scroll down a little bit and yeah, feel free to participate. We added some additional information there, and yeah, just happy to participate here.
It's a really cute hunter that you're giving away as well.
Yeah, it's very sexy. You have to check it out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Steakzito. A woman from Cosmos.
Hey guys, how are you doing? I wanted to know about the price of the mythical bodies. I don't know if I did it before, just to be sure I'm on the right place.
Yeah, I did forget that. 2,500 stars, 1 piece per wallet, and there will be 1 piece being auctioned and 1 piece being raffled.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Could you also tell us a little bit about the art of Mythical Buddies? I know that there's like a lot of little collaborations in there, right?
Oh yeah. So there's a lot of names that I can drop. So there's Stardy. There is Quads, Block Cuties. Let's see. I'm gonna pull it up really so I don't miss. There is Saturn Candy. There's a lot. Then there's also a few that are just on their own.
Yeah, no, they look great. Yeah, I was just curious about that. And these, can you tell us maybe about the artists? Do you know much about Call and their background?
Well, I know that she's younger, and she's an artist. Like she just loves art. And that she would have spoken today, but she had a prior obligation. All I kind of know.
And I do think that you are also associated with Horizons Unbound and Furby, right? Will any of these projects appear in the game that he's diligently working on and actually has released a little bit of work on recently as well?
Yeah, so Felbry is my hubby. He said there's a possibility. He's working to collaborate with a lot of projects, update his website. So yeah, there's a lot of updates coming on Horizons Unbound that are going to be really exciting. Me too.
Thank you very much. All right, guys, any questions for ANYO Z creatures or mythical buddies or Stargaze as a whole? We'll get you guys up. Looks like Win from Cosmos was able to share right on here. How did you do that? Where is that button?
It's easy when you go
Yeah, I want to know.
Okay, let me. So when you go to the tweet and you press the share button, it will give you the option like to share during the space you are as a speaker. I hope I explain myself. More like you like, click to the tweet.
Share via direct message. Wait. Did it work?
To see it.
Okay, here. I got you. I got you right here, I think. There we go. I think that did it. You guys are up. Yep. ANYO up there.
Yeah. So was it me who did that?
That was
Yeah, it was.
That was me, I
It
think.
was you.
And looks like we have another speaker up here. Welcome, Cosmos Kiwis. Oh, they're still connecting. Maybe you're up. Welcome, Cosmos Kiwis. Do you have a question or comment?
Hey, yeah, got a question for ANYO. So I think most of us are kind of independent artists, or yeah, we don't have experience of working in a big team. It's really interesting to hear that the project was produced with so many different artists. Do you have any?
Yeah.
I guess what was your experience of sort of managing such a big team, and sort of what are the pitfalls and what are the advantages of doing that?
Yeah. The pitfall is that if the guidelines are not well done and everyone knows exactly what to do, then the art will come out, like every piece will come out looking a bit different. We've done that mistake not with ANYO, but with for example, when we work on animated projects, it's so important that everyone is on the same page. Even with animation, sometimes we have some people animating the main character in one way, and then some other animators in a different scene animate the character in a different way, and then you're just like, what the hell happened with the character? So I've made those mistakes in other projects before. So I had all of those experiences in mind when we set up the ANYO team. And that's also why Esoj Luna had such a huge responsibility and checked every single art and went in and did modifications when it was needed. And that's why we got delayed. We were supposed to launch, I think 2 months ago in March was the original launch, and we weren't ready. So the advantage is that you can move faster, but if you don't do it in a very careful and calculated way, then you'll just go wrong. And then me and Esoj Luna were always on the same page about the level that we want anything that we put out to keep, and that was also like at the base of our decision to delay. I think we could have launched. It wasn't that it wasn't ready, but it just wasn't ready to our standard. And so I mean, it can be tricky, and I think that if I wouldn't have lived in the Philippines and like all these artists, I know them, I've worked with them before, and that's why it's sort of like easier to manage them from Sweden. it's difficult to sort of outsource this kind of work online just like that. I think it's very complicated.
Cool. So, I mean, even with like a hand-selected group of artists, you're still having to fine-tune the consistency at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, and SOS Luna is a bit anal. So, but yeah, I think that to because also, like, I mean, I guess if you do like a generative, collection, or it's different. We wanted it to be, I mean, SOS Luna wanted it to be his, like, and so to keep that, he had to check everything, and I'm happy. I'm happy. I mean, we could have done it differently, and we could have done it way cheaper, and then we would have made more money. But in the end, that wasn't our priority.
Yeah, you can't really compromise on the kind of artistic vision, I guess. But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks.
I got a question for Stargaze, if that's okay.
Sure, go for it.
So to launch a collection at the moment, it costs, I think, 3,000 stars. What will happen, say, if the stars, you might not be able to talk about the stars price, but if the stars price changes significantly, would you have to go through a governance proposal to,
Yep,
I guess, reduce the price in stars, or what would
Yep.
happen? So
Yep.
$1.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when we initially launched, when Stargaze initially launched, it was actually 1,000 stars for a collection, and I believe at the time it was the Genesis collections. I mean, ANYO, you may know this. I think it was probably like $600 something to launch a collection.
Right.
Yeah, so that was at 1,000 stars, right? And then there's been, if you go into Commonwealth and you look at the governance proposals on MintScan or the governance site, you will see that, yeah, it was increased to 3,000 because people were starting to spam the chain with other works. But yeah, the collection creation fee is always up for vote and governance.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
Just like we also had the listing fee, right? So in a similar fashion, it was free to list, and now there's a 0.5 star cost to list. All fees go through governance, including Fairburn. So Fairburn was also 10%, and now it's 5% for primary sales.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
Cool. You're welcome. Hey, Crypto Tank, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up, Stargaze? Just want to give a massive shout out to the entire Stargaze community and the team. Love you guys to death. Love all the creators in this space, ANYO and everybody else who's going to be soon launching. Can't wait to see what everybody's doing. I just want to give a humongous shout out. I said this prior to ANYO and the team. I'm Filipino. Absolutely love seeing the talent and the creation and the teams shining from the Philippines, doing their thing, man. I really support it. I'm so glad to see it. I'll wait for you guys to mint out tomorrow.
Thanks, man.
I'm gonna
really appreciate it.
love it.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Just want to say
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, I also want to give a shout out. We're talking about Filipino artists. Saturn Candy is also a very, very talented digital illustrator from the Philippines on Stargaze. And she does really great work. She's got a couple of pieces still minting. If you guys want to have a look, it's a sea collection, Women in the Sea. So it looks great. Check it out. Yeah. So there's something about.
I'm gonna grab it just because, dude.
Yeah, something about the Philippines and great artists. Maybe do you know anything about that, ANYO? Can you maybe talk about why you guys have such great artists?
I don't know why, but it's true that there's a lot of really, really amazing artists, and there's a lot of them working for big Disney movies or Marvel Studios. Like there's also like a lot of in VFX, so like compositors and VFX and animators, and I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's
in the food. It's in the food.
It's a really
Utopia. It's in the food.
I love the food.
Yeah, it's a huge creative community out there.
Yeah, it's really, really amazing.
All right, guys. Any other questions for ANYO or Mythical Buddies? We'll get you guys up. We're kind of chatting right now. Anya, could you tell us how Essage's life has also changed through this process? Because I know he's like an introvert, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't really care much about like the fame or the notoriety that goes with it. But he is putting a lot of time and effort into this entire universe and this project. Like, what's his perspective on this?
But he's as you said, he's an introvert, and he's also very humble. I think that he hasn't changed his lifestyle in any way. I mean, in Filipino terms, he has made good money, but he's actually him and his girlfriend. His girlfriend is our production manager, by the way. And they are with a big portion of the money that they have made. They're building a school in this village where he lives. He lives in an island called Palawan, in Puerto Princesa, and I mean that's what the kind of stuff that they want to do. Like he really cares about his hometown and that community that they have there. And it's a poor place. So they're actually building a school. And other than that, like he hasn't changed much, which is
He
nice.
just likes to keep doing art.
Yeah, I mean this is his dream. So he's very happy, but he's also very very humble about it.
Great. Yeah, I hope we get to see him one day. Maybe he'll come out to one of these events where his work is being showcased. We did have his work up on the very big screens in New York City doing the Ultra Shows event, and it was great seeing people, take photos next to him.
Yeah.
Really admiring it.
Yeah. I think there's a bigger chance you'll see me there than him, though. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We can still hang out.
No, we're good.
Block Cuties, I've got a question for you. Do you or Peanut have any advice for new creators on Stargaze?
Yes, my advice would be maybe like seek out the ones that have been there, done that, like Stardy and Woman from Cosmos, Bonsai, like people that know the experience, and they're all so helpful. And that's, Peanut mentioned this, that's one of our favorite things about Stargaze is that the community is just amazing, and 100% of the time people are there to help you, and I think that they like to help too, so that makes it even better. And I like Stardy and Maria, I think they're my friends, like, so I don't know, I love Stargaze. So
yeah, we love Stargaze too. And also, big shout out to Stardy, Circun, Bonsai, Falcon, and Alcadata, the ambassadors who really help out in the community a lot. Without you guys, we probably wouldn't be here right now. So thank you very much. ANYO, I have a question for you as well. Do you have any advice for creators that are one of one, illustrators that want to make these like larger collections? We've seen that now. You've done that with Z Creatures and Z Hunters. Maria did that with her Women from Cosmos collection, and Artichoke Lot did that as well. Yeah, you guys did a collaboration.
Yeah. I think in terms of advice, I think someone asked me this a few days ago as well. I think it's just to do whatever you do, that it should come from inside, not to look around and see what's being done or what sells or what, like it shouldn't be external factors driving that shouldn't be the driving force. It should be internal and it should come from inside. It should be genuine. And I think that if you do that, then at least you know that you've created something, that's a part of you. And I think that's the most, that's what art to me is I put a part of myself in the things I do, in the stories that I tell. And then if it's a movie, if it gets good reviews or not, that's secondary. For a collection, if it sells out or not, I think that's also secondary. I think I think It should come from inside, and it should be genuine.
Do it for you for sure. How about in terms of like scaling up though, right? So would you describe, let's say, like the first ANYO parts as like a short film, right? And then these are like a feature length film. There's like way more moving pieces, right?
Yeah, way more moving pieces, and then the next one maybe will end up being a series, even
Like a
bigger.
TV show.
Yeah,
Multiple episodes over a couple of seasons.
yeah, exactly.
Hey Robo, you're up.
Yeah, bro. Stargaze has been, an incremental, like atomic part of what we've done so far, raising 1,600 for charity. And I just want to say, like, from the bottom of my heart, I really reach out to every single one of you on the team. We couldn't have been more blessed to like try to do this and like what we wanted to do and on chain, etc., etc. But guys, anyone that's like, bought a wheelchair mafia, etc., etc. Like, we know it's not the best art, but the people that have taken part so far, we are so blessed. Thank you very, very much. And we spoke to Michael on Monday. He's he's incredibly impressed by the whole concept of what we're trying to do because he's never been in Web3 and he's never experienced this. And we're like trying to take he's huge, huge mind. 600,000 followers on Facebook, right? He's huge, like following into Web3. If we can bridge this kind of gap, then we're doing amazing things. And shout out Shane for being probably like the best founder in Cosmos right now for me, man. I'm telling you, this guy, man, he's just sorry, like I want to shut up, but like this guy is like the best. Like
He's on here, so I'm pretty sure he heard you say that.
I will cry, dude. The wheelchair mafia means so much to me. You've got no ideas about like the fact that like I've seen this firsthand. I know what it's like. I live here, like, and I've adopted dogs from the like my personal connection to this project. This goes way beyond. And the important thing was that we could show everything on chain. Sorry, we could show everything on chain, right? That was what counted. And Stargaze is just like help facilitate this like little dream. And I God bless yous. God bless yous all. I love yous to bits, mind. And Shane, God bless you, mind.
Yeah, thank you very much for the kind words. All right, guys, I'm going to give a final call for any questions from the audience, or if anyone has any comments, wants to come up and chat, this is your chance. All right, while we wait for the final call, ANYO and Mythical Buddies, any final words that you guys want to leave us with?
No, thanks for having us. It's great as always.
Thank you very much.
I guess there is something I forgot to say. So wants me to talk about the next collection as well. So it says all holders will be whitelisted and airdropped a free NFT for the next collection of 666 supply with Fuzzy Fly's art studio. Holders will also be able to be the VIPs and have access to exclusive holder channel with many events and giveaways. There will be 3 council buddies, the donkey duck, the koi cat, and the jellyfish, that will be minted to holders that will get to claim these 3 seats of the Mythical Buddy Council. Those 3 spots will also be guaranteed a whitelist for future collections. One of the Mythical Buddies will be auctioned off, and the other one will be raffled. I kind of just missed part of it.
All good. No, that's the next collection coming up. Do we know when that's going to be? When you all guys planning for that launch?
It's in the works, but that's all I really know. I know it's being planned out, but I don't know any further details.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, Fuzzy Flies is an art studio based on Stargaze, based in Stargaze, within Stargaze. They will help you guys create a collection, and they do some great work. They did the Fuzzy Flies and I think the Yield Bots, so you can have a look at those guys. Well, I think that is it for our creator space today. Thanks everyone for joining, and have a great Freshman Friday tomorrow. And we'll see you next week for our community space and our creator space. Have a great one, guys. Bye.